The Avengers radio series, a cultural phenomenon in South Africa back in the 1970s. South Africa was a country with no national television service. It wasn't until 1976 that the country would get its first taste of television broadcasts. But before that, radio was the primary medium of entertainment and information for the masses. This was the context when The Avengers, a British spy FI series, made its debut on South African radio and became a cultural phenomenon. The Avengers was a British television series that originally aired from 1961 to 1969. The show revolved around the adventures of John Steed, a suave and sophisticated secret agent, and his various female associates. The series was a unique blend of traditional spy thriller elements with science fiction and fantasy, which set it apart from other shows of its time. While the series was hugely popular in the UK and had also made a significant impact in the American markets, being one of the rare British series given a network transmission slot, it was virtually unknown in South Africa. This was primarily due to the lack of a national television service in the country until 1976. However, as a film series, The Avengers was able to gain some exposure in South Africa through film rentals. But it was the launch of the radio series that truly brought The Avengers to the masses in South Africa. Come and listen at www.myclassicradio.net.
And stay tuned right now for those two characters of many characters, CBS Radio's Bob and Ray.
Oh, okay then.
I'm awfully tired.
All right. From coast to coast?
That'll let me do it. Bob, Elliott, and Ray Goulding.
I can do it perfectly well. If you're tired, I'll be very glad.
I'm bushed, truly bushed.
All right.
And I hate to get up and go over to the stand-up mic. I just want to sit here.
All right. I have the microphone here.
All right.
I'll be glad to.
Let's do it right.
Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding take great pleasure now, ladies and gentlemen, in presenting from coast to coast the CBS Radio Network.
I'm not going to, harp on the subject, but I think it was just a little too wordy, a little verbose.
Too many words? Well, I'm not used to doing it. It's one of those things you have to practice.
But the thing is, you did it for a tired buddy. I think that's the important thing.
Well, why are you so tired today?
I don't know. I can't understand why. I went up and I did the road work that I do every morning and delivered all the papers and the milk and got all the chores done, but it's something I do almost every day.
We have had an extremely long day in the office putting together what we think will be a very fine program in this series.
I think it's more a mental concern, Bob, that has been making me tired. I think I read that in a magazine once, that can make you very tired.
Sure it can.
You're just bugged by something. And Webley Webster's been bugging me and his fan club. And
are they still writing about those 12,000 people?
And they want him to come on and play Jealousy someday, and we just cannot seem to work it into our program somehow.
Well, it's very difficult to find the time spread enough to allow him to play the whole thing.
And then I think I'm worried about your hair. I think that's bothering me a lot.
I'm not worried about it. You've been mentioning it more and more lately. Is it more and more obvious that it's falling out?
No, it's not falling out. It's
disappearing.
Where does it go?
I don't know.
I think that's bothering me quite a bit too. And then of course Vic Cowan's trousers really burned me up.
Those clown pants he wears.
Oh, those really are the champ pants of all time. Really.
Well,
check it, my dear viewers, our listeners, and you ought to get a load of them sometime. They're beauties.
But who are we to be sitting here criticizing other people?
But one thing, you and I are very, very Natalie attired.
Yeah. Probably later, Natalie. Your teeth all right, though?
My teeth haven't slipped during a program in about 5 years now, so I'm in very good.
Well, I think we're all in shape then to get to the pages of a popular magazine, right?
Good.
The Armed Forces Humor feature. Humorous incidents from the Armed Forces, as related by actual Armed Forces members, Bob and Ray exclusive. And let's begin with you, Corporal. Let's hear about your humorous incident.
Well, it happened on my first day in the Army.
The U.S. Army?
That's right. Just as soon as we were assigned to bunks, the guy started to kid me about my name and everything.
Well, what is your name, Corporal?
Well, I'm Corporal Benjamin Franklin.
Well, that's certainly a venerated name.
Isn't it, though, huh?
What's the humorous incident all about, Corporal Benjamin Franklin?
Well, it happened during a thunderstorm, and most of the guys around the barracks were bored, so...
So what?
Well, they made me fly a kite during a thunderstorm.
That is a good bit of armed forces fun, Corporal, and thanks a lot for being with us
wait
this
a
evening.
minute, I'm not finished.
Oh.
Well, as you can imagine, I got a pretty good jolt while flying the kite, you know.
I can imagine that.
Well, when I arrived at the base hospital, a doctor, he asked me my name.
Oh.
I told him it was Benjamin Franklin.
Yes. What did he say to that?
Well, he gave me a funny look, you know, and then he asked me what had happened. Well... I told him I'd been flying a kite during a thunderstorm.
Well, did he wrap you in cold towels?
No, he stared at me for a long time, and he said, "Well, Ben, we're here to make you feel at home in the Army, and you'll be transferred to Philadelphia in the morning."
Ah. Thank you, Corporal. Oh, you borrow your handkerchief. Right. Tears are streaming down my cheek. Thanks for that fine example of armed forces humor. And I see that our next guest is a captain in the armed forces. Captain, would you tell us about your piece of armed forces humor, please?
Well, it was during the war, and I was piloting a B-29 on this particular mission.
I see.
Well, as luck would have it, 3 of our engines dropped off. And they weren't properly secured by the mechanic.
Go on, Captain.
Well, the plane immediately went into a steep dive, pretty much out of control.
And what is the humorous incident that took place, Captain?
Well, just before we bailed out, our tail gunner yelled, "They don't make them like they used to anymore."
Oh, marvelous. Simply marvelous.
Yes, that bit of unconscious military humor was the talk of the prison camp for months on end.
Kind of gave you and your gallant crew a reason for going on, I imagine, didn't it, Captain?
Yes, our constant laughter was a continuous source of irritation to our captors, sir.
It just shows you what cleverness can do, and thank you again, Captain, for appearing here on Armed Forces Humor. Hey, I tell you what might not hurt right about here. Let's inject a cultural note and a reminder of this weekend's Metropolitan Opera on CBS Radio.
Yeah, might lend a little class to the show. What's on?
Well, I think they've penciled in Beethoven's Fidelio for this time.
Oh, yeah?
Well, let's sketch in the plot briefly for the folks.
Wait a minute, are you kidding? An opera synopsis?
Well, just the bare bones of the plot. I mean.
Well, as the curtains part, we find Prince, Vanamir and his huntsman deep in the forest on a snipe hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And they all sing, and from a thicket comes the voice of a lone snipe.
Well, this is not your true snipe, though. This is one that used to be called Princess Grimilka before she became a bird.
I guess an evil magician put the whammy on her or something. I don't know.
But don't you think we've got everybody well enough hooked so they'll listen to the net without any more synopsis?
It's a cinch. They may find us a bit off base with the plot line, though, but...
As always, the singing is the thing. This weekend from the Metropolitan Opera on most CBS radio stations.
Beethoven's Fidelio. It's a real gasser.
Speaking of that, here's Natalie Attired.
Hello, everybody.
Return once again and to say a song after quite some absence. I don't think we've had a song, say, for a week or so, have we?
Hope you didn't mind my interrupting earlier when you said Natalie Attired. I know what you meant, and it's always, of course, my name has always led to people always poking good-natured fun at me.
Well,
I suppose my folks really should have thought about Natalie when they realized the combination of the two names.
Well,
it
worked out very well. At least it's
but
set
they
you apart.
didn't care. I suppose it was a joke to them.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, Eddie is all
It's a
set.
burden to me all my life, though. I think I wish. All right. I wish parents, though, would be a little more careful when they name little ones.
Well, it's a difficult thing to name and be able to figure out what's going to happen later on. Now, you've been rehearsing a popular current
This
song.
one is called "I Want to Be Loved."
Oh, that's a beauty, a beauty.
I hope you have plenty of time. This isn't too short. It's a little long, but it's an interesting story, and I'd like to get going now. Eddie, if you would, please. Well, I know something. There's bound to be a girl who'd really... Well, it should be a boy. Say it.
Start over, or is it too long?
Yeah, I'll start over.
Wait a minute, Eddie.
Yeah, let me start over.
Going back to the top, huh?
Just right to the top. Well, I know something there's bound to be. A boy who'd really care for me. Somebody that really loves me. Somebody to kiss and hug me. The boy I'm dreaming of is gonna love me like I want to be loved. Well, I hope someday he'll come my way and love me faithfully. I hope he'll understand me. I'm hoping his heart demands me. The boy I'm dreaming of is gonna love me like I want to be loved. Well, if I ever find the boy I'm looking for, I'm going to treat her or treat him just as good as I can. I want to give her everything, I want to give him everything his heart desires. Say now, don't you understand that I need somebody
Who wrote
to, what's the matter, Eddie?
Oh, boy, this is a long number. I'm tired.
Your arms tired?
Yeah.
Well,
It is longer than usual.
gee, you're not even halfway through it, Natalie, and Eddie's arms are tired, and the show is only 15 minutes.
We could do
Not
it as
even
a
that.
serial, maybe do another chorus of it tomorrow.
Eddie, is there anything we can get you? I mean, have you been exercising your arms or what?
Well, we've been rehearsing this thing all day.
Yeah.
And, it's just a little too much, that's all. 15 choruses of the thing.
You know, if I were you, I'd try push-ups. They really can strengthen your arm. I know.
Yeah, well, you're not.
Ted Williams, the famous ball player, used to do push-ups, but he didn't use his hands. He used his fingers. Did you know that, audience?
I didn't.
Yes.
I did.
So keep that in mind. I think that would be a good idea for you.
I think
Why
I
don't
might
you
try
edit
those
it down a little bit, huh?
push-ups with his fingers. My word.
Oh, it's strong arms, strong fingers.
Yeah.
Will you bowdlerize that and bring it back in shortened form at some later date?
I don't know what you mean when you use that word. You
Just
use it
cut
all
it
the
down.
time just to confuse me.
No, I mean, just make it short.
Boulderize.
We would like to announce that great husband and wife impersonating team, the Nuttings, can't be here today as we
You don't know how lucky you are, folks. And we hope they won't be here for the rest of the season.
The Wire said they were flying in over the weekend, Mr. and Mrs. Nutting.
Oh, they are, then.
So we may have to put them on next week.
Well, Bob, why don't you sketch in their background? I know they're relatives of yours, and you know
They're very
more about
distant.
them.
Mrs. Nutting is a very distant relative of mine. I think
Yeah.
it's like a third cousin or something.
Yeah, but it's a relative nonetheless now. Come on.
Well, that has nothing to do with it being on the show. I haven't seen them for years.
Does it have anything to do with their being a little, wacky?
Oh,
I mean,
lad, it might, yeah.
I know the name is very apt for them.
They've been playing in nightclubs and doing their famous impersonations for quite a while now.
Well, do they impersonate husband and wife teams? Is that it? Or do they impersonate?
No, they just do famous people. I understand they've revised their whole act, so they have a lot of new voices there.
And they're flying in over the weekend, huh?
Right.
Good.
So they'll check in at the hotel and we'll look for them. We have time to go into the audience just for a little bit here. I think we do. Maybe have a minute or so.
See if anyone has any gun, Bob.
No, not here. I talked to you. How about you, sir? No, him, yes, you. Can I talk to you? Do you have any gum?
Yes, I have.
Please.
All right, I'm light it up. It's right on the seat here.
No, I mean fresh gum, new gum.
Oh, no.
Does anybody here have any?
I have some.
Could I have some, please?
All right.
So will you wait right there and I'll take it up to Ray because he wanted it for him. Here you are, Ray.
Thank you very much. I'm going back down the right. I hate to be an old crank, but this isn't my favorite flavor at all.
What's that?
I say this flavor isn't my favorite, Bob.
Do you have any other flavor, man, that...
You shouldn't lift or look a gift horse in the mouth, that big clod.
Well, I know, but he doesn't like that particular kind of
I'm
gum.
not giving him any. I had to pay good money for it. I'll give him stand up there and say...
Sir, I'm sorry I didn't have time to chat with you.
Lady, why don't you hire a hall?
I would like to talk to you maybe if you can come back at some later
I've never
time.
been so solid in my life.
We'll be back to say hello in just 10 seconds.
And as Joe Alonzo always said, see you all again real soon. Until tomorrow, this is Ray Goulding reminding you to write if you get worried.
Bob Elliott reminding you to hang by your thumb.
Gratefully saluting the golden anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America is the CBS Radio Network.
This is San Francisco, KCBS AM/FM. KCBS AM/FM.